Hey everybody, Ryan here again. So we got the berry bowl update. We got our bowl trimmed, and the next step is to put some holes in it, and I want to show you how I do that on mine, and let's get to it. So I like to use this foam bat to make sure it's nice and supported, and then I use a drill bit. This is a 5/16 to start. These are my larger holes, and I pretty much just use this 5/16 and a, what is this? 1/4 inch. So 5/16 and 1/4 inch. And then I'll put these in a specific kind of order, so we'll get started here. So start in the middle, and then I'll do kind of a triangle. Roughly spaced, kind of. Once I get 2 holes, I can just kind of split the difference here. I'm not worried about these being exactly perfect. And then what I do is, if I have a hole right here, the hole that I put down below it in the same size is going to be down about halfway down the bowl. And then next to it, where there's no larger hole, there's going to be a smaller hole. So I'm going to put a large hole here near the foot so that they're alternating halfway up, all the way at the bottom, halfway up, all the way at the bottom. We'll go all the way around. Okay, so that's pretty good. And these are great to do once they're, I would say, hard of leather hard. You know, you probably want to trim them about leather hard. And the drilling is a little bit easier if it's a little bit drier, because the little bits and stuff don't curl up and stick to the pot as much. So what I normally do, you see the kind of holes here, I'll usually just use my finger, smooth out any of those little bits that are off the edges here. Just soften it a little bit. Kind of work my way around. Do the same on the top, or the bottom in this case. And then if you look on the inside, there's going to be little flakes and bits inside there. I'll just kind of knock those off. This is where the dryness definitely helps. The drier it is, the less little flakes you're going to have to flick off, and less bits are going to get into the holes that you just drilled out. So I'll just kind of wipe those away. And then we'll go to softening the inside. So same deal as the outside. Just kind of use my finger and just kind of make contact with it and kind of move it around in a circle. You're just kind of softly beveling that edge. You know, softening that, any of those little bits that are sticking out so it's not sharp. And then same on the bottom. Okay, so that's pretty good. All right. And then the next step, for efficiency's sake, this is actually my last bowl, so it's not a big deal. But I would go ahead and use that same drill bit and do the same on all the berry bowls I'm doing, so that I have all of the large holes. And this is honestly about, 70% of the holes I'm putting in and like softening and stuff. So I will use the same drill bit all at once there, and then change it out when I get to the end of the batch. And then I'll go back in and do the smaller ones. So these are going to be the other 3. Okay, so the bottom has an even or symmetrical amount of them in the bottom. So there are 7 in the bottom, including the middle. And then the spot where there's a lower hole, or the one that's like, here, I'll go down about 2/3 of the way and put a smaller hole. And this is, for function, but it's also for aesthetic too, for the most part. So you got kind of a large hole and then a small hole to kind of offset it as it goes up, kind of like a you know, it's kind of tapered a little bit with the design. And then if it's stacked among other bowls in the cabinet or something, you can normally see these top holes, and it kind of lets you know it's a berry bowl and not like a regular cereal bowl. So yeah, and this top part, this is actually a little bit drier up here, so it's easier to flake the pieces off. Yeah, so that's kind of the way it looks. Let's get these little bits out at the very bottom. Okay, so pretty good so far. And then the last part is to cut the little feet and sign it. So I'm going to do that next. So look at that, super simple. The holes, the design, I like to keep it simple. I don't want to put too much into it for efficiency's sake, but it does the job, and it's the way I like to do it now. So you see it's got that design there in the bottom. Pretty easy. And then for the feet, I like to use this diamond core. It's kind of like a wider U cutter. And then I'm gonna cut in the open area between the holes. So I'm gonna do middle, side, side, and then I'm gonna cut that little extra there. So that's what the cutout looks like. See, it's nothing super complicated. It's just kind of a little rounded. And then I'll make sure I'll alternate, go, you know, kind of in a triangle. So I got kind of like a loose cutout there. Okay. All right, that looks good. And then I will also kind of soften these edges just so they're not sharp. I'll just kind of push my thumb into it a little bit, soften it. And I kind of like that texture there. It just adds a little something extra, so I'll keep that there. So just kind of lightly softening that. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And then I'm gonna sign it. So I use these stamped pieces for the signing, and I usually find a spot that's good. Sometimes I'll stamp it on the side, sometimes I'll stamp it on the bottom. The inner foot here is kind of small, so I don't think I want to stamp on the bottom of this one. I'm going to stamp it like right here. So I'll support the inside a little bit, and then we'll push the stamp in. Okay. And the year. So there we go. Just add a little signature there. It makes it look good. And that's it. So, hope this helped you out if you're making some berry bowls and want a little pointer about how I make mine. All right, there you go. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you later. All right.